got next. Happy New Year's 2025 to you. We are back live and direct with another episode of I Got Next, Street Fighter Community Podcast hosted by myself and Sir Retro. And we want to wish you a prosperous 2025. This is season 4, episode 8, here on the show today with your host, Shadow Ace, aka Modern Ace, and Sir Retro on production, aka the mayor of Macon himself. And we are now in year 4. Wow, yo. Wow. Huh, man. And as always, if you missed out on the previous episode, please feel free to check them out on Reboot Retrocade's gaming YouTube channel. Then select the tab that's labeled podcast for that season 1 through 4 playlist with 4 episodes, all available on YouTube. Over 40 hours of content for your listening pleasure, whether you are cleaning up the house or cleaning up somebody in Street Fighter. Throw the podcast on real quick and enjoy the vibes. My name is Shadow Ace, one half of the Street Fighter I Got Next team who collabs and moderates these discussions. I've been a competitive Street Fighter player for over 15 years, starting all the way back to vanilla. Street Fighter 4 is my introduction into the FGC community. I played El Fuerte in 4, Ed in 5, and now Jamie in 6. Commentator, TO, player, podcaster, a man in many hats. Speaking of hats, and a man who wears just as many is Sir Retro. Sir Retro, introduce yourself to the good people.
Hey y'all, for those who do know and those who do not know, especially I'm Sir Retro, the other half of the I Got Next podcast series, alongside Shadow Ace. Of course, I wear many hats as well, mainly the head TO of the Reboot Retrocade gaming scene in Miller, Georgia, specifically Macon, as well as tournament director of the Swag Out Nerds esports organization. Of course, been involved in the scene entirely for at least 10 years and still counting. Of course, I do compete, commentate, coach in between as well, my bracket running day moments. And, of course, try to get our players to travel out across the country and the world to explore new horizons in the FGC. So, of course, that's my main roles, one of my many roles rather. And so, just bear, man. My throat bothered me a little bit, but I got my tea, got my medicine, so I am good to go. But I'm good, at the moment. So, but definitely, for many years now, multiple years, 4 years, I think you said, 4 seasons episode 8. We're still here. Had many guesses, many fun moments, some deep moments, some sad moments, some serious moments, some great moments overall. And of course, it's a new year, so I'm excited to see what we're going to discuss today. But of course, a clip in the intro, if you guys, was a little bit different because normally, yeah, Street Fighter Six is the main game that's going on. But yeah, that may be discussed a little bit later. But of course, it'll be just me and Shadow Ace. So, what you got on the plate for today, Shadow Ace?
Yeah, normally we would have a good guest with us for these episodes, but so with it being a new year, I think it's a new a time for a new beginning, man, a new clean slate word for 2025. So
Okay.
this is basically just to let everybody to get them that intro, let them know who we are, let them know what we want to do, and we just hope you guys enjoy the podcast. If you checked out one of the episodes, you could definitely get an idea of how things run down, especially when we have different guests. I mean, we've talked to a lot of people, a lot of different people, man, with a lot of different backgrounds. And it's always interesting to hear those stories and to see those see where environment they came from because everything is different. Like it's so interesting where we all have this one hobby, right? That we just play games and we meet friends and stuff like that. But that there's people on the other side of the globe and other parts of the world doing the exact same thing we are, just with a different environment. So hearing those stories about how things go down in their scenes, I always like to hear those. So our big thing is trying to highlight that aspect of the show. That's our kind of our mission statement, is to give the voice to those members in the community. You don't have to be a high profile celebrity or you a
Mm-hmm.
Capcom Cup winner. You won 1,000 tournaments in a row and stuff like that. We try to talk to everybody. If we can, if we're able to schedule you and get you on the show, we'd love to have you. If you want to talk about your scene, you want to talk about some Street Fighter, just feel free to hit either me or Sir Retro up, and we can see about putting you in the queue for a future episode. This could be us talking to you, and letting the world hear your stories and sharing your experiences. But for right now, yep, this is going to be me and Retro kicking off the New Year's um, here. But how you doing, Retro? I got some cocoa and some pecans. Still snowed in from this weather, man. Shout out to Winter Storm Cora. It was a bad storm over in our area. Uh, we had lost power for like about
I
it was
heard.
a power outage
Yeah, I
all
seen
over our
that.
area.
I
Yeah.
seen. I seen that. Like actually, because I know like in general, like some people even here lost some power and stuff with like their heaters too. So, but I mean, where I live in Macon area, this place is like a lucky place because we even in the hurricanes, even crazy storms, and even like I said, the ice and snow, like we had no problems. If anything, we would lose probably like anything we lose like maybe internet for like 20 minutes and then be back on. But other than that, shoot, we have no issues. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, keep yourself warm, keep yourself safe, especially up there. And I think how many inches of snow did you have if you remember?
They said it was like 3 to 4, but it was a thick blanket. Like when it first
Oh
hit, I
wow,
just
yeah,
woke up the
yeah,
next
yeah.
day. Yeah, I woke up the next day and I just looked outside and I was like, "Whoa!" I could not. I just saw nothing but plain white. Like all the cars crossed it over. I mean, it's still out there right now, but it's not as bad as it was like a few days ago. Like the streets are still drivable. I mean, the streets are drivable now, but black ice is a thing. I would wait until it's gone. Plus, I live
Right.
on a hill, so going up and down, I hear people like basically going really slow with their hazard lights on, and I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just gonna wait until it's actually out of there before I can start driving, just for safety reasons. Because I was looking on the news, I was like, dang, dog, look at this traffic backed up. Shut down. Roads are shut down. Cars are sliding into each other. Skating on ice. I'm like, bro, these are people that try to be brave. So
And the clean matchup is
you
too
know,
strong right now.
yeah, the Colleen matchup is kind of cooking people right now. So it's just a lot of ice and sleet on the road. So if you guys got to drive out, be careful, please. Take your time, keep your eyes on the road, and just drive slow, man. Um, But yeah, yeah. Outside of that, I think on the West Coast side of things, they were dealing with like what the California wildfire, like the
Yeah,
fires here. Yeah, so it's kind of like a I don't want to joke and say a gill effect going on with half of the world dealing with the fire and then us dealing with the ice and snow. So it's definitely an interesting start to the new year, man.
I know, right?
But but yeah, let's get into these New Year resolutions. You know, New Year's resolutions. What you got on the plate for your retro?
Okay, so I think normally I don't really do too much of resolutions. However, um, over the course of the years since our scene been actually like grinding, been growing to the point of that's just some tea. Sorry. To the point of a lot of things are happening so much, like I'm almost losing control, but in a good way. But as far as it goes, that it's inspiring because many of the players now are actually planning to travel to all over the country at least to compete in tournaments. So if anything for resolutions wise for the FGC, my ideal goal is to at least attend one or two majors, probably CEO, and maybe either no, and probably miraculously get to Evo, but it probably Evo USA because of course this is the year now we have three Evos.
Hmm.
So
They
but
did the reveal show like a week ago, right? Like all the games are gonna be there. I
oh
think.
no, it's actually tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's tomorrow Tuesday. Yeah, um, which actually gonna be interesting to see. Oh, that's what we could have did too. Evo predicaments, game predicaments. We might do it a little bit later, but yeah. As resolution wise, as a TO, basically just grow the community where now our average numbers can be 40 at least, which actually is kind of been reaching that goal a little bit because now our average numbers is like 35 in tournaments in
Hmm.
general. But then it will jump up to on a great day to 50 something. And now that's not just December. That's can be like any day, any tournament that we have. So my folk, and also too, lately we got some new people that have been willing to step up to help run the stream and help run the brackets. So my goal is to train the newcomers to be the new big head TOs. Well, not big TOs, maybe yet, but at least train them to have a new team, additional team of TOs and volunteers. So that's pretty much my big goal in the FGCN. Personal goal, working my tone my body. I have been building, but thanks to funny enough, running tournaments where I have to put up the electronic equipment, take it all down, move tables and chairs. Because everybody been saying I've been looking buff lately, and I'm like, what? And I won't notice it until people point it out. And I'm like, yeah, the weeks after weeks of setting up tables and stuff, yeah. So I kind of got a head start on that. But now my core I need to work on. But other than that, then also better my mental health. It's been a rough start, but of course, going to prepare for the year ahead, and mentally, I want to make sure I'm in good shape to handle things, especially within the FGC, outside of that, and and definitely try to travel more in general, and not just like FCC tournaments. No, travel to small towns, big towns, so somewhere across the country. Um, Maybe get a passport eventually and travel international again.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Respectful journey. You mentioned you bringing in the new players are starting to show interest in like trying to help out in running brackets and doing production work. That's good, man. That's great. I'm glad that there's someone out there that has the initiative and the interest in doing that because you said like you could train them and show them the ropes and stuff like that. and that can help you out. So that way you won't be having to do so much on your own, like you used to. So that helps you out in the long run. And you say you've been doing setting up the tables and setting up equipment, taking it down. Like it becomes like a regular routine for you. So
Mm,
you just been working out. You've been working out, but I don't know. It's like you just didn't really pay attention much to it. Like,
definitely.
just setting up just another day. And now you just notice people like, dang man, we see the change. And I said, what you mean? I haven't been working out like that, have I? And then you think about it, it's like, oh well, I guess I have. You just don't know it because you're just being active. And so that's kind of one of my resolutions for this year is definitely focusing on health and fitness.
Hmm.
Just eating better and exercising more.
Hmm.
Because as the older you get, the more your body talks to you. That knee pain that you have, that's a sign. That back pain that creeps up on you every now and then is talking to you. You try to play that you try to play around and just ignore those signs, and they eventually take over your body. You just get into more pain. So you
Bruh,
want to
who you
try to,
telling?
yeah, yeah, you want to try to get that together, man, because you don't want to get a loading screen or you try to wake up and be about your day. And that loading screen when you wake up
I'm
and
done.
you set your alarm for a certain time,
That delay wake up.
the late wake up is real. That is real, especially you go out the following day and you just try to get ready for the next day. Set that good alarm. It's like, nah, let me hit the snooze button real quick. But then it just takes you. You just sit there. You're like, oh man. All right, now I'm ready. Then you just get up. So you want to instantly be able to put your body into a state of healthy state of just being able to wake up and walk around with as less pain as possible. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's definitely going to be the goal for me this year to try to focus a bit more on that. Um, and I guess one of my other ones is to try to learn how to play a character in classic mode. Now
Oh.
I'm not now. Hold on. I'm not
Oh.
abandoning Team Modern. That they need me. They need me as their captain. They need me out
Nah,
there
this is a
as
4K,
the
bro.
captain. Yeah, I was gonna try to play a character in classic mode. Try something new. But there's already too much heat against modern players anyway. So hopefully, in season 3, there's a character that gets my interest. But with the slow rate, these characters and costumes are dropping. That probably won't be like to the end of 2025. I'm just, respectfully. See, see, those are kind of like my main two goals here is to try to, stay healthy and try to be as active as
Hmm.
possible. And yeah, try to learn the character in classic. So we'll see how that journey works out. Here, so speaking of costumes, Sir Retro,
Whew.
what is going on with the costumes, man? What is up with Outfit 4, man? Where's Outfit 4? A lot of people are saying that. I'm starting to see the buzz on the social media about this Outfit 4 not business, man. What's going on with Capcom, man?
'Cause I remember with the previous game. Yeah, Chun Li should be having her 10th costume by now. I just thought about that. 'Cause Chun Li should be having like 2,500 or something hundred costumes overall. And I remember the whole time, every in Street Fighter Five, every time there's a new trailer, Chun Li has a new costume. And so a character might have a costume or two. Chun Li get like three, and people would be so mad, complain about it all the time. Oh, look, there's a new Chun Li costume. Now it's like bare. It's like you just saying right, it just did everything sold out. Did with the new stock coming in, like the stock truck that comes on a certain day, did it get held up and caught an accident or something? That's what I'm trying to figure out because now people are like, oh wait, we got new Avatar stuff, which is cool, but I know in the core of it, many people play the main characters and not much of the Avatar stuff. I mean, of course, besides just going to the lounge and that's it. But yeah, I'm glad that we have a lot of stuff in general for the game. But now I think, hey, we're almost at year two, wrapping up year two with it. Yeah, year two with it. So by then, we supposed feel like you should have a lot of plenty more content on the I say main, not mainstream, but main game wise. Because yeah, we have like the avatars, we have tons of sponsors. Um, all that type of stuff was great, but it's like the core part is missing.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like it kind of got started out pretty well, but I feel like over time, like the content scheduling and releasing kind of is like leaving a lot of question marks on there. Like the Streets want Outfit 4, and heck, they haven't even finished Outfit 3 for for the characters for the season 2 characters. Which
Right,
makes me think they plan to do the same thing they did last year, where they released the outfits with the last season pass character, which is a weird cycle.
right.
Um, and this latest, the battle pass that they just uh released, like this battle pass is probably the worst one. They made it around like an arcade game called like 1942 or something, which is a plane shooter,
Oh yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
they included character stickers from Cannon Spike. Like those are two separate games, but I'm guessing
Because
because it's
Army.
like I'm guessing because it's like a army military esque type deal. I guess that's why they did
Yeah.
it, but it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense though. And why didn't they just not make Cannon Spike playable if they're gonna do those stickers or whatever? Or since we got Mai coming out, why not put the game she's originally from, or do KOF 94 with some Avatar stuff with that?
Actually,
Like that would be a good way to introduce people to the character.
yeah. Well, speaking of, they actually gonna have her trailer out tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST or PST tomorrow. So they did have announced that at least.
Okay, so they heard my threats. They heard my they heard my threats because like what's going on with all this Avatar stuff? Like the Battle Hub tournaments they kind of falling off too because like
Oh yeah,
those
those.
only get you like drive tickets and like occasionally like a phase 4 title or something like that. Like, what about just doing like an EX color or like an exclusive character profile material that you can only get from winning those tournaments? And I kid you not, I think I got like 1,500 drive tickets that can only be used for like Avatar stuff at this point. I just got
Yeah.
a whole, I got just got a whole bunch of drive tickets just sitting there, and I can't really, I mean, I don't really use them because the Avatar thing don't really interest me like that. So it's just nothing but costumes and parts and stuff. Um, and they stopped with the music tracks. Remember they did some
Yeah.
music, the whole album from like Street Fighter 4, and then the Alpha games and stuff like that. You could buy them, and then they just stopped doing it. They just stopped releasing it. Like I don't know what happened. Like they started doing the tracks per game, and then it's like, damn, they must have thought, hell, we could just put these in the season passes. Why we? I mean, we could put these in the battle passes. Why are we giving all this out for drive tickets? So I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird content cycle that they got going on. And hell, I'm mostly shocked from the fact that they don't do Avatar tournaments. Since they eating
Huh.
good over there,
Yeah.
Capcom would make crazy money with that. You could get like a golden cape or a crown just for the winner tournament, or something, some kind of Avatar material, and the collaboration section in the Battle Hub. It's been empty for months. I think the last one they did was what Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I like
I
the
think
big
that was the last one they did for that, and then
Spy
a Sonic
Family.
one would be dope. I'm just saying, respectfully,
Hmm.
if they did a Sonic one, that would be hype. But yeah, I'm just thinking like the content scheduling is kind of odd here that they got. I mean, we already got the 4 characters per season, which I think should be 6. I think it could have been
Mm-hmm.
6. To follow the old formula from Street Fighter 5, but again, this is how we're doing it. We're getting 1 character per season with balance patches and things in between. But content wise, the streets really want that costume, man. They really want that costume for a retro.
I hear you. And like I said, I hope they hear us. I mean, like I said, and plus, let's see, Capcom Cup will be in about 2 months from now. But I don't think that'd
Hmm.
be too long to try to wait to announce like some new content. I mean, it's because like the thing is, yeah, Spy Family was the other one they had collaboration with. But yeah, the thing is that I I don't know. I mean, I understand they try to, keep things on the wraps and not try to have hackers and people to data mine and all that stuff. But I think it's like they doing way too little in this situation. Like, and it's like been almost since September. Now, granted, of course, Mai's coming out potentially soon, like maybe between the end of this month to the beginning of next month, with the gameplay trailer being announced. But like, yeah, like the whole fall time frame, like I said, it was bare. Like literally, it got to the point where we even no one here was talking about Street Fighter 6 and or anything except for Ken being either mid tier or top tier, no tier, whatever tier, and that's it. That's the only conversation I've been seeing on occasion here with us, and then on social media. But yeah, like I said, lately everyone's like, "Where's the main content and stuff?" Like it
Hmm.
kind of like I said, it's a weird opposite of Street Fighter 5. The game, the game was okay and whatnot, and they swarmed with a lot of content. And then now, like the game Street Fighter 6 comes out with a lot of stuff in general, modes and features and stuff. And the extra content now is like, yeah. So hopefully they hear us. Hopefully they hear us.
Yeah, I mean, with the vocal, I mean, with the power of social media, nowadays a lot of people are a bit more vocal about what they want, and devs see it now, and devs take action. Just like how someone posted up the clip of that Rashid when Rashid had that day one bug, or yeah, that day one bug was his
Mm-hmm.
his tornado
Yeah, level
that just
two.
did like infinite chip, and that got patched out. Now I was saying like before, like now imagine if somebody didn't post that, it kind of still would have been a game. Plus I think that was the week before Evil too. So somebody would have just snuck into a tournament, did the Rashid glitch or the Rashid bug, and then they wouldn't have gotten DQ because hell, Capcom didn't address it, so it would have been good to go.
Hmm. Yep. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely something that with social media now people are a bit more vocal about the content they want. Like every time you see them post something on social media, you'll see someone post under it, "Hey man, where's costume for? Where's costume for? Dang man, it's been such and such days since costume for and stuff like that." So I mean, I'm sure they pay attention and they see that, but I think it's to a point where um, the game has sold so well that it's giving that pass to allow this to happen because it's kind of been kind of dry. I would say since the Terry release, not too much content came out after his release, and they just I guess occasionally did a battle pass here and there. Once that goes, you just get to the next one, and it's just not as thrilling because you're just basically unlocking like older content from games you probably already played or like just outfits and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Maybe in season three they'll try to spice it up a bit. But yeah, those are kind of just my suggestions I would do if I was to like do the content thing. But before I move on to our next topic, since this is 2025, there are going to be a lot of new events, a lot of new tournaments going on here. So, in other words, to get ready for those types of events, preparations got to be made. Things have to be done. Of course, we want to dive into like tournaments with venues and game fees and like tournament etiquette, planning and budgeting for events. So those are kind of like loaded topics, but as you being a TO retro, you got to shed some light on this. Just in case anybody has some thoughts on opinions about this. So my thing is, with it being a new year, we're gonna get new players. We're gonna get new people who haven't been acclimated to the FGC environment there, and of course one of the first things that gets brought up is like venue and game fees for these events that hosted. So like what would you like if I had to ask you a question, what would you estimate to be a good reasonable price to pay to enter a tournament?
Considering the circumstances, for me, like I do this a lot in the social economics of things in the area. Like for here, um, I say the minimum, and I talk to my players about this. I say $15. If it's for venue, um, it depends on the factors. Because say for our venue, we're small, so we do five for venue, five for um, per game. However, I if we're able to increase and go to a certain average or amount, and then kind of line up with everyone else, I can see 10 for venue and five per game. Um, as far as like a local tournament wise, yeah, I think that be the borderline for us, social economically wise. I can see that. Where I know with 404, I think it was like 15 per venue, and then like what, five per game?
Mhm.
Is it?
I believe. I believe so. No, I think it's maybe 10-5. But I haven't been up there in quite some time. But maybe I think yeah. Okay, so I think maybe 15-5. 15 venue and 5 game.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're out there listening and you thinking free, and yeah, turn the podcast off right now and unplug your pad or your stick, and just shut down your computer and just walk away in shame because no, no, absolutely not. Get that free nonsense out of here, man. Back in my day, bro, I remember when
Mm-hmm.
the venue and game fee used to cost $50.
50
Like, yeah,
50
50, 5, 5, 0.
for local.
And for a local, for a
Woo.
local, it was I think it was like 25 for the venue, and then it was $10 or no 10 either 20 yeah 25 for the venue, and then 10 or 15 per game.
Woo.
So yeah, so just imagine just for every game you played, you'd have to pay that. Not to mention paying for parking, gas, food, and that equal to like $80. So or so. So just imagine if you go 0-2 or 2-2. Yeah, I mean, people should be thankful online is popping right now,
Mm-hmm.
and devs have stepped up the netcode production because honestly, a $10 venue and a $10 per game is not bad, and I feel like that's just the common standard. Some spots even do 5 and 5, five venue, five entry fee. Sure, your takeaway is not going to be that much unless there's a pot bonus, but at least you are saving some money. And you might be wondering like why go to an event when I can just stay home and save more, which is a terrible mentality to have. But some scenes are really spoiled, and some people are actually think that. But in regards to fees for the game, it could be much worse. It could be much higher. It could really be much higher. But the counter to that is, well, if they're gonna charge so much, why don't I just stay home and just play online? You know, it's not the same. It's not the same experience, but you could kind of see where there's like a line, like a barrier between TOs forcing themselves to like, all right, there's no way nobody's gonna pay this much to come and play in this tournament unless there's like a big pop bonus or something attached to it. But I mean, that just makes you think. I mean, remember all the. I mean, I'm sure you've seen this too. Like, and for those who are just watching, I'm sure they've seen it too on their social medias, where venues are starting to close their doors now. Venues are shutting down. You see their messages where you put up the post, the long post, the twit longer, saying that due to this circumstance, due to that circumstance, we'll be shutting our doors on this day and that day. And most recent one that I seen was what, Xanadu? Bro, I
Yeah.
remember Xanadu from back in high school. That's how long since Xanadu has been up and about
Yeah. They've been
and
around for a
active
while.
in the community. They've been up for a long time. Even before Street Fighter 4, they still had their doors open. That's just wild to think about. And then Now they just had the last tournament what in December. So that just makes you think, man, that nothing's lasts forever, man. If you have a local scene, you got to take care of that scene. Got to, man. It's too many. We're starting to see a lot of places starting to shut down their doors right now because maybe the profit is just not high enough, or the funds are just not enough just to keep the doors open and keep it going. So if you got a local scene in your area, just be grateful you have somewhere to play. Because online might not be the most optimal experience to to play in a tournament, but if you have an offline scene, then you got to take care of it, man. Because if that's gone, then what is your other option? Either you do it yourself, or you got to stick to playing online. So that's kind of my whole thing is where people starting to complain about prices like that, and I guess prices are getting too much for them. At least they have somewhere to play. They might have somewhere to play, and then if the prices are too high, they can always negotiate and talk with the TOs about it. Maybe come to an understanding and seeing about lowering their prices a bit if it's too much. Not go on social media and try to put the place on blast because that's what and put their prices there. Like that's stupid. That's counterproductive. Like why would you? What is your why? I don't understand that. But yeah, that's like what are your thoughts? I think your prices has always been like a good number there, right? Like 5 and 5 or 10 and 5,
5 and 5.
I believe.
Like,
5 and 5. Okay.
because so the thing about it, you can call it lucky for us, because our scene, not scene, we are seeing our for the venue. They basically, uh, they let us know they let us use the space for free, and the venue fee go directly to us. And so it doesn't have to worry about. We don't have to worry about. Yeah, we could charge it how much we want, but it was the fact that for our environment in our area, in the reboot venue, specifically, actually, reboot can survive without us because it has enough. It drives enough revenue. Excuse me. Without us, it has a general audience that comes in throughout the week and spend money there for drinks and games, whatever. We're just kind of like a bonus to them. So if anything happened to us, the venue itself is fine. Now,
Hmm.
yes, and of course, if anything happens to the venue, then yeah, we have to find a new place for sure. Which we had a few options, but a few places that we either used to go or we look at going, they're starting to close down. And then they already closed down,
Hmm.
many of them. So comic book shops, car shops
Mm-hmm.
like that over the years, other little arcades and game places, and even other bars. So the thing is that for us though, with Reboot, how they are, they function really well to that they can function without us. So that way, if something happens to this our scene, the building, the venues won't die. But of course, yeah, like I said, as a result of charging 5 and 5 to me, because many of our players in our area, a few have really good paying jobs like that, but the fact now actually many of them actually start competing in more than we have different types of tournaments now, because now we have run tournaments at least 3 times a month. Like our average went up, so and some of them are the same people, and they'll come back play Tetris. For example, we had Tetris yesterday, and many of them are Tekken players, and many of them also Street Fighter players, DDR players like that. So they'll pay maybe like 20 25 throughout the time frame to enter all these tournaments, because we now have so many tournaments of different things, and the same people enter pretty much do most of them. So of course we kind of made it like a special or a budget for them, where that they want to play this, that, and third, and it's in long. And the thing is though, as for us, it worked out because we had people that come in and be like, oh, well, how much it cost? Well, it's $5 for this, $5 for this. Oh, $10. All right, cool. And but if you go to where it says 15 and 20, they're like, Uh and especially the newcomers, they kind of like think about it for a moment. They may take the risk, they may not take the risk. But in me working in retail and many years prior, I learned about marketing and learned about how to appeal to customers, and I learned some tricks and trades that and tips that helped me understand how the scene moves. So that's why with us, I kind of go about how the customers kind of feel, or rather in this case, the players feel a bit more than like the business side. The business side, for like as far as the venue host and staff, working with us, they gave us free reign because we have a really, really, really good relationship with them, and that helps. And they're willing to provide in addition to whatever else. Because then what happens then the players they budget where they gas to drive downtown, parking, which it was a new recent expensive area, and of course buy a drink, and of course they get something to eat. So they basically what average person would spend like $25, $30, maybe at the most 50 for an average person to enter tournaments, get some drink, get something to eat, park, and drive there, and then of course driving back, for gas, and of course but as a result though our numbers went up to 25 to now like I said our average are like nearly 40, and I think part of it is the economic state of things of the prices. But I'm not going to disregard for how 404 or data or any or zone breaker or any other scene does it, because if they charge more, they charge more, and I can understand. For example, no Fayetteville they have to charge a lot because that's an IHOP, and I know they might have to
Mm.
potentially pay some money towards part of the venue fee, whatever, towards them.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, they have to charge a little bit more because, like I said, understandingly so, to that level, and then to obviously the major regional levels, you got to cover expenses. So that understandable part. And I said for us, we're lucky enough that our venue doesn't really charge us to do anything, and they let us profit from it.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one of those scenarios where, well, just based off of that situation where you are fortunate enough to have that type of environment to be able to run your events here and have that type of collaboration. Some teams don't have that type of partnership with the establishment to do things. Sometimes they have to come out of pocket or host an event at a hotel or something of that
Yep.
nature to rent out a space to do that, and it's more out of pocket than them versus a partnership. But I think for some of them, for the venues where they do the collaboration, it's like you're working with the venue to bring in customers to the business. Like for example, he's
Right.
like, hey, like if it's a coffee shop or some kind of restaurant or something, as long as people are paying and ordering food from the business, they don't mind you using their space to run your events, and that's
Right. Right.
usually what they want the customers, and they want people ordering foods, and those partnerships kind of hold together a bit longer, blue wise, versus something where someone has to actually come out of the pocket to rent the space to use to run their events. So I think in those instances where people are running the events out of those cafe type areas or shop areas, those are the ones that last a bit longer because they have a
Right.
business partnership, or or they may even have it where they're already thriving as a business, but the video games is just like a side thing, and it's like, hey, well, you can use our space, sure, but the business itself is already thriving, so that partnership right there can work out too as well. I guess it would just depend on the type of relationship the TO would have with establishing the venue to make things happen that could determine the prices.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a yeah, I think that's like a fair thing to say here
But I was
for
said
this
it.
in this example.
I'll say this in addition. As I remember when initially the price would Reboot would actually charge $500 to rent out the back area. I that was the original thing, and I remember that we will have to pay $500 every time to rent out the area to use for tournaments. And I
Hmm.
knew we, as much as like it was a bunch of us initially, like 16 of us, none of us had that type of money. And this was like 8 years ago, shortly after Open. We definitely didn't have
Hmm.
that type of money to operate like that. So we moved to Comet Plus, which was like down the street. And of course, that's when I think a few of you guys from Gwinnett, Braun, Data FTC started coming down there, and then eventually, excuse me, what happened is that they managed to work out somehow, and the owner, like me and the owner, became really good friends from Reboot. So what happened was that eventually you were like, you know what, and then the thing is, what I did do, like I said, the partnership and business thing, we treated that environment whenever we got a chance to use Reboot. To like we cleaned up, we was nice, respectful to the staff, and if many of them bought drinks, and it attracted outside customers in addition. And Reboot saw the staff saw that, excuse me, and they were like, "Oh, this is actually kind of benefiting us in a better way." So that combination led us to where, hey, they were like, "Hey, you know what? If y'all guys need to use the space, and you guys are good people with our staff and everything, you have it. And don't worry about charging, paying us for the venue fee and stuff. That's y'all, because y'all, did so much for us. Because, and one of the managers still admitted to, at a point, I think before around COVID, she admitted that, like, basically we were one of the communities that kept the business going because we was
Hmm.
bringing so many new people, especially out of town, and then out of town people like to drink and try out new bars and stuff, and they love how the staff was treating them and everything, and the service was great, and many of them wanted to come back, and many of them bought many drinks, and it helped generate revenue on the business end, especially after they suffered from COVID. So they're kind of like very grateful for us. So we have a very strong symbiotic relationship. There we go. If anything, because like we're not leeching off them per se, but of course like
Hmm.
we're just an additional attachment to what they have, and now we're like now become one. We're essential with them. But yeah, I can tell you too. Like there was cases where the other places opened up in our area, and they did charge like $20 for tournaments and stuff. And I remember seeing discords. Some of the players were like, "What? $20 for this, that, and third?" And in comparison to Reboot and the other people that try to run tournaments. The other thing too is also many of those common places, many of the card shops and stuff, they make revenue and focus on the cards and stuff like that. But then they see how the tournaments are in one place, and then they try to make the tournaments just as a main focus as a card shop and stuff. And that's where a lot of times things go wrong because then they don't understand that it can be volatile where it'd be 20 of us show up for one day, five the next day. And then, you pretty much don't make that much money. Of course, you have people that, and then, allocating all the space and stuff to try and prizes and money and everything to run a tournament. But, moving aside your cars and your other products that supposedly give you main revenue, and then if the tournaments don't do too well, then you wasted like a couple $100. And as you know, you'd
Hmm.
be like, well, we have to move to another place, or this community sucks. We're not going to do tournaments in here anymore because they don't like this and the third. That, yes, literally, there are like a bunch of stories that here in our scene that happen. And now, like I said, the place I mentioned that they closed, yeah, because Reboot's not now the only main venue that still around for our scene.
And I've seen that. I've seen that time and again where the business just wanted people to purchase items, and nobody was really buying anything from there. So the owner was like, "Well, you guys come in here, you use our space. We didn't charge you much to use our space to run your events and stuff. And nobody's, the orders aren't coming in. I got my staff just standing around, not doing nothing, and things like that. And you got a whole kitchen staff. Well, I'm just giving an example, but you got a whole kitchen staff in the back waiting on orders to come in because your venue is like crowded with like 20 something people, but nobody's ordering any food. And yeah, I mean, as an
Uh
owner,
huh.
I would be upset to say, terminate that relationship. Cause it's like, dang, duh, you would have to give them work to do, and they're just standing there. And then I just remember it because people were so they were. I don't mean to laugh, but they were so upset. The staff was so upset, and lady she was just staring at like a hole
Mm.
into everybody, like just mad because nobody was like really ordering anything. So I ended up ordering. I ordered something like a wrap and some fries or something like that, but I guess they just didn't have enough orders coming in for the business. And then eventually, over time, it's like, okay, well, I think we'll have to, end that relationship there. So we'll have to move on to another venue here because there was no cost effect where people were helping out the business grow. Somebody could order something, a bag of chips or something, but it was one of those things where if you're honored and privileged enough to have and maintain a venue, man, just take care of it, man. That's all I could really say because it's weird. It's wild to start reading these closing sign notices on venues, especially those that have been there for quite some time too as well. So for those, don't take your scene for granted, man. Keep the offline support going,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's close to your area and you go support that business, man, because it's not going to be there forever. So you just enjoy it while it lasts. But we talked about the venue and the game fees and that of that nature. We do have to discuss the tournament etiquette, man, because I think that's an important thing too as well. And it's quite simple, man. It's just basically act like an adult. We're all grown in here. We pay bills. It should really be self-explanatory. But I feel like we have to revisit this subject because there are too many out-of-pocket moments that are just like plaguing the FGC in general, man. Especially if you are a signed and sponsored player. Like there's a code of conduct in which you're expected to show some decorum and dignity when out at events too as well. And that's just another thing that to take awareness to is that the behavior of the people at these events, man. You see them, you see the loud. I mean, it's okay to get loud and hype and stuff like that, cheer for your friends and stuff. Some spots don't mind it. They want the energy to be there. But for those who are, continuing to like have poor term etiquette, like they, smoking and, stuff like that, and just doing all kinds of activities that are not prohibited at the location. That's kind of another reason why, people don't, the venues might not want to continue the relationship is because of the behavior of the people that attend the event. You know, that we just got to just be respectful of the property. They're allowing us to use the property to run the events and stuff. We can, throw the trash away, clean up after ourselves and stuff like that. Don't leave trash around. They take notice of that. Those types of things. When they see people see trash leave around, they may just look at them and just shake their head and just keep going about. But that's kind of another thing too, as well. It's just the etiquette of the players at the event because everyone pretty much is out in public, and you never know who's going to come to the event, especially if it's somebody you've never met before, and they may say some wild stuff out in public, and then now you're held accountable for it because you allowed them to say
Mm.
it or allowed them to do it. I don't know, Retro sound like a story there. What's up, man? Oh
No,
no.
thankfully we have had that issue yet. But yeah, I mean the thing is that you know what? Okay, I'll say this: we a few times we had the commissioner of the city commissioner, and people like the tourism guides and people who does like research development because they come to like Reboot for example. Yeah, it's a scary thing. So I try to like be nice and I was like, hey, welcome to we have a tournament that going on. We're being hyped because they're trash talking. Like so, I try to explain the culture of the community and try to make sure that hey, we get hyped. We run around circles when say you can't block those. We might hit a backflip when someone got mixed or whatever like that. You know, And of course, like even for commentary wise, we had people that might be watching on our stream, and we like, hey, keep it PG-13. You know, if you want, if you want to set a limit, because I just had a few close calls, but yes, like I said, city commissioner, research development people, like people who actually like sponsored and gave money to Reboot so they can build the business in the first place. Like they can be there. So
Right.
yeah, close calls, man.
For sure, man. That's just something to keep track of for sure. And as far as the making sure your venue is staying healthy is just the attitude and the etiquette of the players, man. Say it again. Just be on your best behavior, man. It's really just common sense. You eat something, you drink something, you throw it away. Don't leave the trash around. Don't just leave things unplugged and all of that. Don't steal. Don't steal. I mean, there's a couple of other things to mention there, but just for the most part, you just got to be a decent person, man. Just be a decent person when you out at these events. Nobody should be messaging people at certain times of the day saying, "Hey, man, we might not be able to host our tournaments here anymore because the owner reported that there was this trash there and something was stolen and things of that nature." You should never get those messages, but those messages do come in, so that's just something to take care of, man. If you notice somebody that's causing problems for your scene, you got to pull them to the side. Got to being a TO, you got to be the bad guy.
Or yeah, something
You
I
got to be the
seen,
bad guy.
or derogatory terms and stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, your speech and stuff like that. You can't just go out there and just be wilding out and saying all kinds of crazy things. Because again, depending on the environment, you might have kids there. There might be a family there. Stuff
Yep.
like that in the same building. Who just may just be looking just to see what's going on. But and if they see you cursing and screaming and stuff like that, they're gonna be terrified. They don't want their kids around that. You know, they don't want their kids around that. And I've seen that happen before, where someone was getting hype and just screaming, cursing and stuff, and then the parents, they just look so shocked and terrified. And they just like, nah, yo, don't go over there. Don't go over there. Come over here. Come back over here. They don't want their kids around that. So yeah, man, that's just another thing. Let's make sure we're grateful for our offline scenes and grateful for the scenes if you got them, and let's just be on our best behavior for 2025. There you go.
And please, let's try to reduce the amount of no. Let's stop being a creep, being social, not socially awkward, but being to the point where you're stalking, you're making people feel uncomfortable, you're saying things that hurtful, and you know harassing people. Like that has to stop
Mm,
because
yeah.
not well. I mean, because I I get those people out there myself. If you see, as you can see, but like I said, of course, you see in social media discuss like, oh, this person, hey, this person texted me this and this was crazy weird, or this person was looking
Mhm.
at me like this type of way, or they walk up to me and said this and that third, and I was like kind
Mm,
of creeped out, and I'm not sure if I want to come over, come back, or can you please deal with this? And unfortunately, there have been cases where we unfortunately allow that, and it gets to a point where it builds up from an anthill to a mountain, and for the problem, and as you know, everybody knows the business, and rather than having the dispute privately, you get the whole community involved, and it leads to this crazy divisiveness between two groups. That one believes the allegations and one don't believe the allegations, and
mhm.
then people still allow this person, don't allow the other, or still allow both, and thinking that it work out regardless and everyone knows it. Nah, see that type of stuff too got to stop. And as TOs, we have to do better to address that. And if we have to, we pull people to the side and say, "Look, I was told that you've been doing this to this person. This is violating this. hey, either you leave, either you apologize and keep to yourself and move on, or you got to leave. We ain't gonna,
Mm,
because like T'Challa said, we don't do that here.
exactly. That's that's just. I mean, unfortunately, there have been incidents of that nature going down in scenes and stuff where um the harassment cases and stalking incidents and just all around like just deviant behavior coming out from people. I mean, everyone we expect everyone to be an adult and act on their best, but there are going to be a few that slip through the cracks and might cause some trouble in their scene. And it's just by case basis. But we just implore everyone, TOs to be a little bit more active and not try to like sweep these things under the rug because it'll eventually boil over, from ant to a mountain, like Retro said. These things can add up over time if you're allowing that behavior, especially if you know about it. And well, the first thing people are going to say is, well, how did it get to this point? You knew about it, you didn't do anything, you didn't act on it, and now we're at this situation. Now it escalated to even something that could have been prevented had the personnel took ownership earlier. So yeah, that unfortunately these things do happen, but for the most part, as long as you're a decent human being, you should be able to be okay. In the FGC scene. But yeah, that's our thoughts on that. Before we move on to the next topic here to close
Mm-hmm.
out for today, you got anything else to say before we move on? Retro.
No, I think I managed to cover that. What I need to cover for that part with my 2 cents. So yeah, I'm ready to move on.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna dive right into it. So this is one of our, the main bread and butter here for the subject tonight. So since it's 2025, and I've been noticing it, Retro's been noticing it, maybe the people at home been noticing it too. Starting to see a resurgence of certain games. Starting to see a Ultra Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 resurgence going on. Now this is interesting to me because a few years ago, half of the Earth's population hated Street Fighter 5. but comparing it, but comparing the first season of Street Fighter Five to the last season of Street Fighter Five, they're two different games, to be honest.
Right.
And by that time, most people were turned off from the first season. The damage had already done. Already traded the game in, already went off to go play something else. But for those who stuck around, we got treated to the best version of the game, which was season five, which technically wasn't supposed to exist. But COVID happened,
Mm-hmm.
and Street Fighter Six was actually meant to come out earlier than that. Um, People have been playing these games, but now we see light shine on them because social media is reminiscing and posting clips about it. Dang, bro, look at this sick ass combo I did 4 years ago. Or I remember when we didn't have to turn green to win neutral. Talking about Drive Rush. Two, why did we hate Street Fighter Five again? Like for everyone, their answer is going to be different. But will this hurt Street Fighter Six?
No,
Yeah.
I mean literally at this point, Street Fighter Six sold as much as possible so far, and like I said, it's already going to be making more sales. It's like the thing about it, nothing wrong with it. The thing about it is that the way Street Fighter Five was treated from initially, and like you said, that bothered me. And to me to this day, if anyone tried to ask about Street Fighter Five, I actually hold on. I try to remember. No, yeah, I did get asked. I got asked a few days last week if I'm gonna run a Street Fighter Five tournament at Reboot.
Whoa, wait. What? Who was the brave soul who stepped up to you and asked you such a question? Who was the brave soul who did that?
I'm not gonna suppose him like that, but like he still likes he still likes Street Fighter Five more than Street Fighter Six at the moment and stuff, and he still I'm not sure he still plays it. But every time, every once in a while, he be like, "Oh man, Street Fighter Five, that's my game and stuff like that." And then recently, because of this resurgence and everyone posting like clips and everything, and we had a small chat group about it here. If it could load up, he was one of our players. He was like, "Hey Kurt, do you see yourself trying to run Street Fighter Five reboot again?" And everyone just had laughing emojis at him and looked at him. And Big Boss DP was in the group, and he was like, "Hell no!" And I remember that day after Easy Kai, and yeah, almost 2 years ago. Dang, yeah. After Easy Kai, to 2023. After that, I remember everyone or Discord posted pictures and videos of us deleting Street Fighter Five and downloaded and bought Street Fighter Four and start running tournaments for that instead. That that's still the funniest thing that I ever witnessed, and everybody collectively was like on the same page. And to this day, our scene, I would say, for I speak for our scene when I say no, we're not letting Street Fighter Five to ever return of any sort back at Reboot. Excuse me. Because, yeah. So just like Untamed Gaming to an extent, well, of course, obviously, seen recently, um, that's a technically a forbidden game for us here. Street Fighter Four, we give it a pass. There's some Street Fighter Four heads here. It's playable. It's fun. Okay, Street Fighter Five, end of the life, playable. Yes. Street Fighter Four even has some weird brokenness and some weird moments in between and stuff like that. Overall, it was still functional mostly, and it had content and it had everything, unlockable content, so like that from the get go. It's just Street Fighter Five was just a weird case for me. It's just me. I can't get over. So as far as opposed to Street Fighter Six, Street Fighter Six pretty much I got everything you want initially in the beginning, content wise. Yes, right now we're dealing with a extra content crisis, but for what we do have now, it's playable. The character balance is not too bad. People are oh my gosh. I mean, I know this is a little tangent, but people are downplaying Ken so bad. But like I said, tangent. But the thing is that the game is at a good state, gameplay wise and playable wise. It just content wise, yeah. But in comparison to Street Fighter Five, Street Fighter Six would be fine. If people want to run Street Fighter Five, more power to y'all. I mean, y'all guys got tournaments already running, but more power to y'all regardless. I mean, yeah, if you like Street Fighter Five, like Street Fighter Five. If only dang, who was our guest that say Street Fighter Five was a masterpiece? Who do we have?
Skittles.
Yes, Skittles. Fierce Skittles would be. Oh my gosh, he would be. I wonder where he's at now. I wonder if he's just getting news of this now and just like, you know what? I told y'all. He's in tears.
He said, I predicted it. I'm a prophet. He predicted this. He knew that was going to happen. He knew this was going to happen. And this is what happened when you're in a content dry spell. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. People will get bored of the game, and it was like they go play the previous version.
That
They'll
Thanos
go play the
meme.
previous version.
He said, and what did that brings you back to me?
Back to me. Exactly. It's like even with respectfully, I've seen someone say this about Tekken 8. They went
Oh
back, they
yeah,
said that they say, yeah, let me go back to Tekken 7. Now, not being a Tekken player, I didn't understand the vision. But I was like, well, what's wrong with 8? Isn't 8 like, it's beautiful, it's polished? What's wrong with it? And then they could probably tell you why. But then you see them playing Tekken 7. I was like, huh? Why are they playing Tekken 7? What's going on? And then you got some people that go back even further. They're playing Tekken 6. So it's just a very interesting thing where once the honeymoon phase is over and time passes, opinions of things can change. So like it can't always maintain the solid hype. Yes, Street Fighter 6 had a brilliant, a beautiful launch. Beautiful launch. Everything came out the gate. Minimal bugs, stuff like that. It had content, right?
mm-hmm.
But over time, they tried to do the collaborations and stuff like that. Everything was new and fresh to people, so you got that experience and you got that engagement. But then now that the year has passed and more time has gone on, now it's like, all right, what's next? What else we getting? Oh, you gotta. It's Cammy's birthday. Oh, okay. It was her birthday last year. Oh, it's Jury's birthday. Oh, it was her birthday last year. You know, you start to see the same rotation of content that was exciting at first, but now we're just repeating with the same thing. So they even used the same artwork that they did the year before. They used the exact same pictures. I'm like, bro, okay, what else would you get? What's her reward? Oh, we giving everybody drive tickets for Avatar stuff. Oh my god! Now we're back to the same square. We're circling back again. So now they got to do something. My is gonna get people talking, probably for other reasons, but my is gonna get people talking for sure. She'll come out. People will play the character. Maybe there's some changes. Maybe there's a balance patch that comes out when she comes out or something. We'll see. Um, but outside of that, that's only going to last for about what 2 to 3 months until we're ready to move on to Alina. And Alina comes out, they'll play it for a good few months. All right, we're all right. This is with season three. We're ready for season three now. A character releasing a character cannot hold the attention overall of the game, in my opinion. Because just doing one character every 3 to 4 months, nah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yeah, it makes you revisit the game, but after you get all the kinks out of the character and realize, they might not be as strong as X and X, we're back to square one. Now we got to wait for the next character. So I don't know if Capcom is expecting or Street Fighter is expecting them, for everybody to just keep holding on and just for waiting for these one characters to come out. But the content is in a dry spell right now. The battle passes were exciting at first, but now they're starting to get repetitive because they're not really offering too much except for avatar clothes and some music.
Yeah,
Avatar clothes, some music, and maybe an emote. That's it. And that's for the avatar. The emote is for the avatar. So it's like, who's going to be overexcited about that if they keep doing that for the whole entire year? Nobody. No, well, except for the avatar community. But yeah, that's just nothing. It's not enough to keep engaged in the content and content wise. So hopefully we'll see what happens in when season three drops, man. Hopefully we'll get a new formula or a new format for the battle pass. Because right now, as it stands, just releasing a shirt, a tie, a shirt, a hat, and maybe some pants and like three music tracks. That ain't it, that's not it. But I would say yeah, Street Fighter Six would be okay because it sold millions of copies. A game with millions of copies sold is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Someone once told me support what you claim to love, and if you enjoy a game, you play the game you enjoy. But if you out here,
yep,
if you out here false flagging, knowing dang well you don't like the game, you're part of the problem. You're sending false expectations to your audience. Now, if you don't like something, why would you indulge in something you don't like? Or just be like, hey man, I'm not too fond of it, but I'll support it and play it casually. That's fine. Just don't be like saying that this is the best game ever and stuff like that when deep down inside you're not enjoying it. That's all. That's kind of I my take on that whole situation, man. Shout outs to Untamed Gaming, UG Ghost, Yellow Slide, Sage Platinum, and everyone else that still plays and stream these games because they enjoy it. They enjoy the content. They're not playing it because they're not playing it just because they playing it because they prefer to do it. They prefer that over, you know, a certain title. So it's what they want. As long as you're supporting what you claim to love, you're all right in my book. But what we got retro? What you think?
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's a weird opposite situation, like from weird contrast with Street Fighter Five and stuff. I think, I think in the future, I think at the Capcom Cup, I think they're going to probably address a lot of stuff, and they're going to probably start kind of revealing things a little bit more. I would be not surprised if they actually started revealing more characters per DLC pass. I, that's my theory. And I think they're gonna, because like I said, I think we might get more of that. Um, yeah, they're gonna do something to make up for it because like Capcom is in a good position in general, and I think for something like Street Fighter, they have to take care of their baby. And if their baby's not in a good position according to the crowd, the masses, and they hear about it,
Mm.
yeah, they're gonna review and like reflect on it, and I think they're gonna make up for it. Because I mean, the thing is not that they do much for Street Fighter Six. They did a lot from the get go, and it just that they just kind of died, not died, but like yeah, it just like dropped off, and it's just weird. Because like the way it was, it is like Street Fighter Six was going to be, well, of course, to many people in the community, you're going to save Street Fighter. Street Fighter Five is done. It's going to make the new. It's the future. It's a revolution. Capcom is going to new heights with this game. This and that third. Some people make exaggeration maybe, but some people have that view of it. And I think that Street Fighter Six is taking Capcom in a good direction. It's just that I feel bad for her now that is having a weird lackluster moment. And after the second year, like maybe 4 or 5 years from now, it start lacking a little bit. That makes more sense because pretty much you might say we're kind of wrapping up on this, and we may be looking at the next Street Fighter project or whatever project. But for the fact that they're like quiet, and just not doing much, it is worrisome. But I think at the same time,
Mm.
they are aware, and they're probably going to be like, all right, Capcom Cup, we're going to like boom, boom, boom. We're going to have $2 million for the first place. We're going to have, you know, this anime, this new collaboration. Chun-Li's going to have 50 costumes this time now. Um, 6 characters for season 3. We're going to have new arcades and stuff in the battle lounge, whatever, for people to play. We'll have an extra storyline or whatever. I think like you might see a surprise big amount. But of course, like I said, we get my tomorrow. Well, not my. We get the my gameplay trailer tomorrow. So there's something. There's a little bone, but we need more than bone. You need the meat.
We getting scrapped. They just shaving off bits and pieces right now.
Granted, it's
Because
granted it's my, but we need more than that.
the deception is well, it is mine. So. But yeah, it's basically I hope it will be that the adjustments will be made because the fact that the game is only in its second year and the interest is starting to
Yeah.
wane away is kind of a bad sign. Regardless of how much money you throw at it, even people, just stay from watching the game. Some people like don't
Right.
really have too much interest in watching it. So it's like, how do we get from point A to point B so fast? And if it's only in its second year, there has to be something that they gotta know that something is happening right now. Even the professional players who play it, they may play it just because it's there and it's available, and they're actually good at the game. But if you ask them if they enjoy it, they'll say, "Well,
Right.
yeah, well, it's a game. It exists.
Cause we're not saying give.
So
Yeah. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Cause I'm not saying
no, no, go ahead.
we're not saying give everything all at once. No, all 5 passes and
Hmm.
everything within the first 2 years. Of the
Right.
release and stuff. Like yes, we like to have a lot of things, but yeah, I think just the pacing of it just needs to be better.
Yeah. Exactly. Like maybe some like even for like the stages, I feel like we only get in what like one or two per season pass.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of underwhelming, but
Yeah.
maybe a stage with each character that matches the character or something like that could happen. But um I just would think like, or maybe what about a new announcers? Like they could do the new commentators. I mean, that's something. You
Yeah.
know, I would think they would have did like a commentator pack right by now with like new commentators on there, but no, they haven't. It's been the same one since launch. So maybe in season three we'll get new commentators. I don't think so, but for the fact that it stands of right now, and plus there are other games out there that are people are discovering and they're enjoying those a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they found themselves like, okay, I feel like this is a game where I can put down, go play something else, and just come back later once they get their shit together. Once they get it together, then I can come back and just play it later. But
Mm-hmm.
for right now, they just want to play something and find something they enjoy to play. So that I think that's one of the key things that need to be talked about because they go into season three with the same format. Retro, I don't. I think it might be curtains, man. Honestly, think it might be curtains because they can release four characters. I mean, they can do the. What if they do to still do the same thing, like the same four characters per season, same battle pass with Avatar stuff, just the same format. Just recycle it again for another year. Uh,
No, Capcom is
I can't see that.
Capcom's one of those companies that actually starting to listen, and they're willing to listen because they have responded in some cases more than one. So I give them credit for that. So I'm like I have faith in them. Also, my idea. The thing is, I'm not sure if maybe I would say very back end business end because the thing is that we technically have a crossover because since Mike and Terry coming is in Street Fighter Six, they announced Ken and
Mhm.
Chun Li in Street and Fatal Fury. I wonder if they have to deal with that as well, that crossover concept, and we have to deal with that in addition to working on Street Fighter Six. But you would think though, even then, you would still like have some stuff announced, like like at around time at the latest like Game Awards last year, there should be an announcement or anything like that. Hey, we have some new costumes coming soon. We have this and that. Anything like that would have been fine too. But yeah, I mean I have faith in them.
Okay. I mean that's fair. We'll see as time wanes on. After by I guess maybe 2 or 3 months later we'll get Elena, and then we'll be on the road to season three. So hopefully season three will be the big change. It'll be a new game title, and maybe they'll call it Super Street Fighter Six or Street Fighter Six Arcade Edition, which is kind of the tradition of every Street Fighter. They always come out with a new version. So I expect Street Fighter Six to be no different. So yeah, maybe in season three they'll change it to Super Street Fighter Six. Everybody gets a second Ultra. I mean, a second Super. They probably add some new mechanic in. That's when Chun Li gets her 8 costumes retro. That's when she gets it. In Super Street Fighter Six. But it'll just take some
Oh my
time to get
gosh.
there. Yeah, is all. All right. Well, with that being said, I think that's gonna close it out here. Unless you got something else we can talk about, we can go ahead and get over to our good old ads and get ready to close out episode 8.
Well, okay, we can do it by two ways. I think about doing it, but because it apparently got leaked, but the Evo lineup would.
The evil eye. Oh yeah, that yeah. Someone had already they already screenshotted the
This is
before they
it.
took it down. They already screenshotted the thing before they took it down. But yeah, it's interesting that that game is in there. I thought that game would be done. I
Yeah,
mean,
I actually not
I mean,
surprised.
you not.
Consider, yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying I thought that game would be the one. Like one, like one. How could one be in there? I didn't understand that, but I thought that support was done. They discontinued the support of that game. They putting it at Evo, so something must be up, right?
Yeah, yeah, and then of course there were talks about it that apparently they're not getting any more content after this current season is in. So yeah, but the thing is that Yeah, I mean, there's a faithful few. I mean, that game sold 3 million already as well too, early in a few months or so after it came out. So it made money, but
Hmm.
but of course the unsurprising thing for me though is Marvel Two. Like
Marvel 2?
like the thing is that everyone like actually even if like it wasn't revealed in a way maybe well that would have been obvious. I think it was super obvious because one the collection came out,
Right.
so like of course, and how everyone went bonkers and the fact that it got freed finally after all these years and it's not a bad port on the PlayStation. So and then they had tournaments for it and so many calibers. They even had X-Men vs Street Fighter. They had Marvel vs Capcom 1 tournament. People were
Hmm.
going bonkers and crazy. The Twitch rivals, of course, I can opener, Yipes, Maximilian, this and that third. Like people have been crying and begging for that game to be freed for so long, and it's
It's
no.
Marvel, baby.
And you know what? This year is the 25th anniversary. That's how old
Wow.
we are. Well, I'm 34,
Wow.
but that's yes. But I'm technically I'm 10 years older than that game. In August I will be, but yes,
Wow.
um, yes. So perfect. It'll been the perfect time, It's almost a coincidence. So that to yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm excited to see it. Look,
Hmm.
now the people. You know what? I think we'll see some little tears because I'm gonna do another bingo card for it. But yeah, um, yeah, like I said, that's the throwback. The game. I think that's gonna happen. Like, I mean, even like I said, even if there were no reveals and leaks and stuff like that. Like I said, Marvel's Capcom 2 is way too important. Um, 15 years. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So Jackman said it haven't been an evil since 2010. 15 years later. Yeah. Way too. That's that.
Wow.
The stars aligned for that game. Wow. They cannot have come out a better time. That is a perfect timing. Like the stars aligned. 15 years from Evo, 25 years since it came out. The collection came out and got freed after so long. Everyone went crazy about it.
Marvel Rivals is doing really well. It's thriving. Marvel's
Exactly.
cooking right now.
Yep. And like I said,
So then here's my $1 million question. Then
go
I'm
for
sorry.
it.
Go ahead. You was about to say.
No, go for it.
I,
I said, yeah, and then like I said, Capcom, is Capcom's on a roll with that. So I know, that's happening to somehow manage to get that to come back is crazy because we thought it was impossible, near impossible, quote unquote. But yeah, what's the $1 million
reality can
question?
be whatever. Reality can be whatever Capcom wants it to be at this point. Because I'm thinking, what if? And hear me out. What if at Evil on the grand finals they announce a new Marvel versus Capcom 4, or in this instance, I guess it would be 5 because I guess Infinite would be.
Yeah,
Oh,
I will not be
oh,
surprised, and it's not.
but they
It,
but
yeah,
they could but they'll announce it, but they'll announce it like as a reboot.
you know what?
Since that seems to be a thing, but it's a new Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the way it is and the relationship that has with Disney, who owns Marvel, and the Marvel Studios themselves, and obviously with the release of that, I mean, the stars are aligning right now. That be it won't be too surprising. It's not a stretch. You're not stretching on that because trust me, I have people in our Discord for the Marvel scene just be like they've been praying, crying, and they've been setting up rituals, and they been hermits in their caves and everything, just waiting for the day there's a new Marvel coming out since Marvel 2 and 3. Because yeah, we have some Marvel heads here for sure. Um, but yeah, I'm sure like they right now they're setting the ritual and sharing the prayers, whatever they worship, everything right now. Like let it be a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 or new Marvel versus project. We yeah. So like I said,
I
we
can
yeah
see
we have a
that.
cult.
I
We have a cult.
mm,
We have a Marvel cult in our area, in our scene.
I'm telling you, I can see it happening. I feel that it's on the way. It's almost there. It is almost there, but we'll see though. We'll see time comes, but for the most part, I'm glad City of the Wolves. City of the Wolves is one of the games. Oh, darn, I'm not supposed to talk about. Darn it, never mind. Well, I already said it, but yeah, City of the Wolves is apparently one of the game. But that's all I'll say. I'll let everybody else be surprised when they do the announcement. There you go.
Yeah, and the thing about it too, like I'll talk about the game in general because like for that game having a now Capcom crossover because you people and then the announcement a while back a CVS collection and then you see Terry and Mai and Street Fighter Six, Ken and Chun Li and Fatal Fury. What is the answer to that? What is the equal sign we're gonna go towards? That's like this plus this equals what?
I mean, it equals PVS 3. That's what it looks like to me. It's eventually.
If we
I think we'll get to that. We'll get to there too.
if we get both a CVS 3 and a Marvel vs. Capcom new project reveal on the same year, do you know
That's crazy.
the internet going to explode,
Exactly.
bruh? Do you know how
I'm
crazy
drop everything. Drop everything, yo.
next Evo is going to be?
In the
Nothing but those
same
two
year?
games.
Yep. Yep. I
Yep,
am very excited to see.
nothing but versus series, all of Evo. Even Street.
Hopefully they bring back top eight. Bring back top eight, yo. I don't like the top four. Bring back top eight.
Oh, you mean top six? Yeah,
Oh, top six. Yeah, yeah, top six. Yeah, top 6.
yeah, it is. Yeah, but like I said, we'll probably talk about Evo format and stuff after the announcement and see what think about it because they might not announce additional stuff for it tomorrow too for Evo besides the games.
That's true. So we'll we'll touch bases on this a bit later. Maybe in the next episode we'll touch base on that. Here, like kind of like the aftermath there. We'll probably get some more thoughts in on the my gameplay trailer. And just stay tuned, man. Just make sure you guys are up to date with us for the I Got Next podcast. Shouts to everybody that tuned into the live podcast. You might not have typed in the chat, but we do see you lurking out there, which is fine. We don't want to, disturb your lurking. You might have the podcast on in the background doing something right now. We appreciate that. Before we get out of here, Retro, I think we have some ads available.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a terrible point. But anyway, we definitely do so. Um, actually, so I'll set up this way. I'll advertise everything that's coming up very soon, and then of course, if you want to, I can play that trailer towards the end.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here first. So this Saturday, we're gonna have our Nerds Cup tournament, the last one of the circuit for $100 pot per game with Under Night, Street Fighter 6, and Tekken. So, of course, this is part of a tournament circuit that we are doing. That if you get enough points, you can get a chance to qualify for a free entry to Easy Kai. Of course, that is oops, I have the auto scroller, but excuse me. We have the entry to free entry to Easy Kai. So first place at each at the end of the circuit, which is in February, and you have the most points, you'll get the free entry at Easy Kai. So this Nerds Cup is the big tier 1 points, so you get a lot for first, second, and third, and so forth, and up to 16 placements can get points. So definitely, if you want to get that chance to get a free entry to Easy Kai, we have Under Night, we have Street Fighter, we have Tekken 8, and of course it's 5 for venue, 5 per game. But $100 pot is already set. If we beat a certain threshold, there may be more adds to the pot. And yeah, but of course, we talked about it earlier today, or earlier this evening. I'll let Shadow discuss about the Forbidden Games online tournament.
The forbidden game, indeed. It is. Is it no longer forbidden? Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. But yes, we do have a Street Fighter Five tournament, online tournament going down next Sunday. Let's see, January 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a few players signed up here, and of course, we'll probably get more as we get closer to that date. But if you guys want to reminisce and play play some Street Fighter Five, come out and hang out with us over at Untamed Gaming. We got a tournament going down. Jacob Mania, of course, will be on the ones and twos on production, holding it down. I'll be holding it down on commentary,
Hey,
and yeah, we'll have a good time over there. So catch you guys on that date and time for some Street Fighter Five goodness.
all right. Now, start with a little bit of small stuff. Of course, we just talked about not too long ago, but time to bring out the big stuff. So now, our tournament at EasyCon is no longer just a tournament; it is now an actual convention. Thanks to the downtown folks of Macon and the Cherry Blossom Festival community, we have now been supported well enough to we be able to run it as a convention. So we will have stuff with, of course, the esport, the gaming tournaments. We have cosplay contests. We're gonna have a DJ. We're gonna have musical performances. We're gonna have vendors and many, 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 many more. Of course, in this promo, this is where if you want to just spectate and see what's going on, $10 right now to register online, and that QR code right there. And if we need to blow it up just to get a little look at it, you can scan it, but otherwise it'd be $15 at the door. And of course, it'll be a 2-day event, so definitely that covers both days for spectators. So if you want to check out what's going on at our event on March 22nd, 23rd, during the Cherry Blossom Festival, we're going to have a lot of stuff going on. Please, please come through. Please check out Swag Out Nerds websites and social media. You just type their name out, they will be everywhere for sure. Definitely. But this is technically our finals of the EasyCon circuit. So in that case, it'll be $300 pot, and that is going to, of course, have Under Night and Birth, Guilty Gear, Tekken 8, and Street Fighter. It is now an open tournament. It's no longer only partially open for last year's qualifiers, then top 16 thing. It just open tournament. Get a chance to get to at least $300 pot for each game. And we may have some side tournaments and some other activities as well. Of course, like I said, the scanning for the QR code right there, and 2-day events. So we're revealing a little bit more details over time, but definitely come out to it. We're technically our 4th year, but 3rd year at the Sports Hall of Fame venue. We're excited to host it once again. Thank you guys so much for those who've been coming for the previous years. So you have faraway travelers from all over the country. So excited to see more of y'all guys. But of course, that we're just probably, I don't say stepping stone, but we're just a prelude to something that's bigger for Georgia. And I'm gonna play a little nice trailer for you in just a second. Check it out.
Welcome back to Maximo, Atlanta, Georgia.
Razor, back no way. Back to Atlanta again. Yeah, I'm amped for this. Let's go.
Climax. We should be seeing a reset here at max mode.
Yeah, yes, once again, oops, let me do it like this. Here we go. Let's shrink it down a little bit. So yes, let Shadow Ace explain a little bit more about the max mode. And of course, I think registration is already open and good to go.
Yes, indeed. Max Mode, yep, indeed, going down on that date. You see it there, April 25th through the 27th, 3 days of Max Mode goodness coming your way. Plenty of games, plenty of side events to experience. You guys saw some karaoke. There was even some karaoke there. It's across the street from a variety of different food venues and just different tourist attractions you can check out too, as well. Beautiful hotel. They had a steam room when I stayed there. Very, very nice, very comfortable hotel. 10 stars, really good service, great breakfast there,
Hey,
and it was just an all around good experience there. If you want to save some money, you could register now. You also want to save some money, you can always try to find someone to room with or room in with your friends too as well. But it's going to be a great show, man. This is the second year. So of course we'll get newer players, new games into the mix, and new faces, man. Hopefully, this could be an ongoing thing going forward. This is the second year, so I'm very excited to, uh, you know, be witness and bear witness to the history that Max Mode is going to be a part of right now. So, yep. So there's the date, April 25th through the 27th. If you want more information about registration, hit up Twitter data underscore FGC. It'll take you directly to the registration link where you can get more information about the event. But after that, I think there was another. Do you still have that V Trigger flyer I sent you, Retro, or we're not able to get it in? Oh, okay, okay, all right, no worries. Week, week. Hint, hint. You know.
off and muted. Anyway, um, yeah. So I'm not sure that's attack on us to say. Oh, well, I see this. I see the reference, but it's also kind of like an entendre of like, hey, Street Fighter Five is back, so get over it. No, we don't want Street Fighter Five. We're triggered. We're V triggered. Fair. So tell us about what may be coming about this tournament, Shadow Ace.
Oh man, big shout outs to Sage Platinum, who is the main TO for this upcoming event. I believe at the end of January. Here I can post some more information in the chat with the sign up link that'll direct you to the Matcherino page for more interest. I believe almost about 30 entrants right now that he has so far for his event, with more growing, of course. Here, which is going to be currently the largest Street Fighter Five tournament, online tournament to date. Here from Sage Platinum being there, I'll be trying to assist with managing brackets for that event too as well. But it is something that's been in the works, that Sage Platinum's been promoting and making sure people get signed up and join in his Discord to be an effective communicator there on that. And he also is offering a $500 prize pool for first place. Winner take all. They you would think maybe top three.
Wait,
Nah, nah.
what?
This is winner take all. Top, first place is getting 500 off of that event. That's wild. Well, that would definitely trigger me if I got second. It would
Oh
definitely
my
trigger me
god.
if I got second. I'm like, dang, bro, I was so close, but It's gonna be the strongest will, and the strongest fighter. At the end of the day, is gonna get that reward, that sweet check there. But be triggered, man. I cannot wait for that event. It's been such a long time for a lot of people to experience some Street Fighter Five, and we'll get to see what happens that day. Once again, shout outs to Sage Platinum for putting this event together.
Like I said, obviously we have a bunch of Georgia events happening and underway. Street Fighter Five events happening and underway. Interesting time of the year to start off with, But excited to see how everything turns out. And like I said, I think y'all guys for tuning in for tonight's episode for sure. Any shout outs from me is Middle Georgia FTC. Love y'all guys as always. Thank you, shout out Ace for bringing me on board with this. Um, let's see. Yep. Support. Hey, support what you claim to love, and definitely play the games that you love to play. The game, what game you like to play, and be respectful. Keep them respect the TOs. It's a thankless job. The whole 9 yards. But yeah. Of course, if anyone need to find me, of course, I'm Sir Retro08 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, excuse me, and any other social media. You can find me, of course, on YouTube as well, and Discord. So yeah, and where can people find you, Shadow Ace, or any shout outs?
All right. First of all, of course, shout out to my co-host here, one half of the I Got Next crew, Sir Retro. Of course, we've been on this for about 4 years now. So time flies when you're having fun, I guess. Gosh, man, I just blinked and then we already here. So look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this is off the new year. Shout out to 2025. Here we'll get some guests, of course, a bit later on, but this was just like our introduction series, so you guys know what we're about over here. So we hope you enjoyed the podcast for this. If this is kind of your first time listening to us, and you feel free, and you want to come through to talk with us, please feel free to do so. Hit up Sir Retro, hit up me. Shadow Ace will be more than happy to try to see about getting you scheduled and booked for a future episode here. So again, thank you all so much who has been tuning in, all of our day one support, and all of the people who have been supporting the podcast thus far. We hope for bigger and better things. Maybe maybe one day we could be sponsored by Capcom for a promotion. It could happen. It could happen. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it definitely can. But until then, for right now, we're just gonna keep grinding, keep giving out these episodes when we can. Stay tuned for up to dates for episode 9, because episode 9 could potentially already be in the works. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Take care. Be safe. Again, happy New Year. Prosperous 2025 to you. And so, Retro, where are you going to send the good people?